These are the stories
My little girl, she's changing lives just by being herself.
of organizations and people making a difference.
When you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real.
And empowering others
It saved my life. It saved my life.
across Canada
I scored my first goal in my first blind hockey game.
in our community.
I live at Opportunity and Care, and I've been living here. It'll be 10 years in February. I don't need to live in a nursing home. I don't require the level of medical care that a nursing home provides. I'm not sick. I'm disabled, and those are very different things. But as of right now, I am a perfectly healthy 31-year-old woman whose ass happens to be sitting in a wheelchair. And that's the only reason I'm here. And that's not right. My name is Vicky Levack. I'm a disability rights activist and all-around badass. For the past 10 years, I've been focusing on advocating for housing rights for persons with disabilities. That way, people can actually #afford to pay rent. Exclamation point. 10 years ago, Arborstone was the only nursing home with a specific unit for young adults with disabilities, instead of entirely seniors. This was not my first choice for community living, but I was denied access to the community by the Department of Community Services due to my needs being, quote, too complex. What I think they meant was I needed 24/7 care, but I needed it in a very different way. Like, I don't need someone to stand over me and, like, make sure I don't eat the soap. What I need is someone to be there in case something happens and I need help. This could be a little thing like, hey, I dropped my remote. Or a big thing like, hey, I kind of want a sandwich. I took a tour with the social worker who assured me that there would be lots of people that were just like me, that went out in the community, that worked, that lived full lives, and they only needed a little help with their activities of daily living. When I moved in, however, this was not the case at all. Many of the people I live with here have severe cognitive disabilities as well as dementia and other behavioral issues. Young adults, according to the province of Nova Scotia, means anybody ages 18 to 64. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't consider someone in their 50s and 60s to be a young adult. I think if you ask anybody and go, what's the age of a young adult? They're not going to say 64. I had to give up a lot of things when I moved in here. Some of my autonomy, a lot of my dignity. Moving in here did a number on my self-worth. I felt I didn't have any, or that I had some, but nobody wanted me. The world at large doesn't want me to be here. I began, and I still sometimes feel, very isolated. One of the ways I've found to survive here is to spend as little time here as possible.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Can I get a mocha and a croissant with Nutella?
Yes.
I've been in a wheelchair since about the age of 2, and I was born with spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, or CP for short. I grew up in a small town called Berwick. It's here in Nova Scotia. The town has a population of approximately 2,500 people, so it was very small. I was one of the only visibly disabled kids in my town. I have one younger sister. Her name is Erica. She is a chef over in Ireland. I'm very proud of her. I did always want to write. I've been writing stories for a very long time. I think I wrote my first one. I think I was 5 or 6. So I wrote an erotic vampire novel that I eventually self-published with the help of my mother. Yes, my mother is that cool. It's not bad, but it's certainly not a masterpiece. I mean, I was 21 and a virgin, so if trying to write a vampire erotic novel can be a little funny. I'm very proud of what I did, because writing a book is very hard, but I do cringe a little when I read it, because a virgin trying to write erotica is actually bloody hilarious.
Thank you, Donna.
You are welcome. There, take a slurp of that.
I wanted to have a life outside, and I knew my small town wasn't going to offer me that. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a job that played to my strengths. I wanted to work not only as a writer, but as a activist for the disability community. I had to move here in order to do those things. I couldn't do those from my childhood bedroom in Berwick. That was my decision. My parents had nothing to do with it. And I say that because many people seem to think that my parents forced me in here, and they've got a lot of backlash for that. Like, how dare you put your daughter here? And they didn't put me anywhere. I tried going back to school after I moved into the nursing home. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I did not become a full-time student, I was not eligible for many of the services that would have enabled me to reach my academic goals. And I left school. After that, I decided to do advocacy full-time. I call this a fight for freedom because no one should be warehoused. No one should be forced to live somewhere they don't want to, simply because of who they are and what they need. Claire McNeil is a Tallahassee legal aid lawyer who focuses on human rights. She recently presented a case to the Court of Appeal of Nova Scotia, which found that there is systematic discrimination in this province against people with disabilities to get access to the community. She said, "Would you like to get out of the nursing home?" And I said, "Wait, that's an option?" And she said, "Well, technically what they're doing to you is against your human rights. So, hell yeah, it's an option." And I said, "Oh, well, if it's legally wrong and not just morally wrong, then we should do something about that." I didn't realize I could ever get out. I thought I was going to die here, that I would never get married, never have a family. Once I realized it was illegal, that made me fight twice as hard, because I knew I had something to stand on, rather than just screaming, "This is not okay!" Now that I knew there was a path, not only was I going to blaze it for myself, but I figured this could set a legal precedent which would get other people out.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
I'm a people person, and I like to stay active. I recently started taking adaptive circus classes, so that's really fun. I freaking love it, and it changed my goddamn life.
And I want for you to just explore all of the different ways the top of your body moves, which movements you're really enjoying, and which movements your body is just like, "That's a no for me today."
I work in silk hammock, which is just what it sounds like. It's just suspending yourself in pieces of silk that are attached to the ceiling. We have some people that work on hooves, and we have some people doing body work, like floor work, and moving their bodies into some really cool shapes.
And you're going to show them how you get out there on your own. Okay.
Before adaptive circus, I really hated my body because I thought my body was my enemy and it never did anything I wanted.
Lifting from the middle, lifting middle, up, 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 yes.
Now I don't hate my body anymore because I know how to make it move and do what I want. I just needed to learn how to do that and learn what I was capable of. I spent so lot of time focused on what I wasn't capable of that I had no idea what I was. And now I know. I can freaking fly if I want to, and that's pretty cool.
Open up, open up, open up, open up. Yes.
I do give speeches on disability rights, basically Q&A for able-bodied people to ask what they really want to ask. I started with speeches about the intersectionality of disability and sexuality after taking a human sexuality course at Housing University and becoming fascinated with the body and the connections people could make with their bodies and the powerful psychological effects of that connection. People with disabilities are often infantilized and very isolated, and we are taught by our society that our bodies are undesirable, that they are weird. We're all human, and that we all have human needs. We all have a desire to be loved and to connect with others. And sexuality is a part of that connection. It's always disappointing when I come back to Arbor Zone because it is not where I want it to be. Hi, Steven.
Hey, Vicky, how's it going?
I do a lot of talk on the news about disability rights.
Tell me how you felt when you found out that the government decided that they're going to be taking the initiative and spending their time, rather than helping people with disabilities, actually taking them back to court.
I was furious. I was hurt. I was confused because they said they weren't going to do that. I didn't understand why they changed their minds. It helps that I now have somewhere to channel my anger and my sadness. Before, I was like, I'm trapped here and there's nothing I can do about it. And then I learned, actually, I have a voice and I can use it and people are listening. Okay, thank you, Steven.
Alrighty, take care, Vicky. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, bye. And that's how you do that. I was not the only one these injustices were happening to. And if you see something is wrong and you do nothing to try to fix it, that makes you complicit, which is something I did not want to be. I am part of the Abolish Long-Term Care movement because the way it's run right now is wrong. And it puts people in a sort of a warehouse situation where they're in a bed, but they have food on their table, and that's great. But they don't have a life. And that's wrong. In April of 2020, I became aware of a pilot project between the Department of Community Services and the Department of Health in Nova Scotia. With Claire's help, I was accepted into this program. The pilot program is for 4 participants. They bought 2 condos. So 2 people with disabilities will live in one, and then 2 people with disabilities will live in the other one, and we will share caregivers. The 2 apartments or condos are right next to each other, so it'll make it easy for staff to go back and forth. And basically it'll be staff on call 24/7. So again, they don't have to stand over me, but there'll be like an office in the condo where they like hang out. And I just pop my head in and go, hey guys, I need some help. You know, which is really what I wanted. It's actually cheaper to house someone in the community than it is in long-term care. And if I'm out in the community, I'm more able to work, which means I can make money, which means I can contribute to the economy. And also, just spread my knowledge. We all have knowledge, we all have something to contribute, and we all deserve the opportunity to do that. The reason I call this a fight for freedom is because I had to fight. This is not a gift. I had to fight 10 years to get this. I had to go through 10 years of what I call, emotional hell. I'm very excited to start this new life in the pilot program, and I will not dwell on the past. The minute I get out of here, I'm never stepping back in this building again. However, I will not forgive them for the decade that was stolen from me. I have managed to not only survive, but thrive despite this setback. Once I am finally free of the unnecessary medicalization of my body, I can only imagine what I will be able to accomplish.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
We are now in downtown Halifax, in the South End, which is much more accessible and has better maintained sidewalks, and they're wider as well, which makes it easier to get around. I was supposed to be moved into my new place 10 months ago, but because of COVID, there were a bunch of delays. I was hoping to be down here in the suburb. I was really looking forward to having a neighborhood that I could just run down to the coffee shop or run down to the grocery store and not have to book a bus a week ahead. My friends have asked me, how do you feel about all this? And I'm like, I'm not angry. People expect me to be angry, and I'm not. Anger, if you don't channel it, or there's nothing to channel it towards in this case, is a very destructive emotion. And I don't want to be destructive on my own mental health. I'm going to the condo that I will eventually move into to see my friend and roommate Jen Pally and get a status update on how things are moving along in terms of the project and the condo we're going to live in. Hi, Jen. My roommate will be Jen Pally. We do a lot of the same work, and she's a total badass. So I look forward to not only living with her, but learning from her. And being in the same house will give me more opportunity to do that.
I don't know.
This is Jen's incredible partner, Tom. He's here to interpret what Jen says. As I move in with Jen and get to know her and her speech patterns better, I will be able to interpret what she's saying on my own and will be able to help other people understand what she says. Give me a status update. What's going on next door and things.
They will be done in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, for the other apartment, which is fantastic, but that doesn't really help us. They're renovating the condo that Jen and I will not be staying in right now. They're renovating the other one, and that's due to be finished apparently by July 26th, and then they'll start mine and Jen's. So I don't know when mine will be done. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to being roommates. How you feel about that?
I'm happy to have someone as smart as you.
Oh, thank you. I like to think of myself as intelligent. You wouldn't know it when I'm trying to navigate through anywhere, but yeah, I like to think myself I got some smarts. We're in my room, and right now, it's not done at all. The closet looks nice though. I'm gonna like having a closet that big. My room one at home is nowhere near that big. And there's some shelves there, so that's really nice. I may not even need a set of dressers now that I think of it, because I'm looking around and there's plenty of space. There's a really large window so the sun will come in, and that'll be nice. Right now, the wall is a very boring beige, so I will fix that because I don't want to live in a bowl of oatmeal. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a purple. I like purple. I'm just really excited to actually get in here and not live in a hospital room anymore. Right now, this is a pilot project, but we are, of course, hoping to expand it so that other people who are young, meaning in this program it's under 50, no longer have to live in nursing homes with the elderly, because our needs are quite different, and we don't need the amount of medical care they do, so there's no reason why we shouldn't live in our communities. Of course, I'm still going to advocate. When I mentioned to my friends and stuff that I got in this pilot project, they said, oh good, you can retire and go on to something else. You don't have to fight so hard. And I was like, there's literally thousands of people behind me. You think I'm gonna leave them behind? So I won't stop advocating until everybody who doesn't want to live in a nursing home doesn't have to.
Producer Rachel Bauer. Directors Erica Moose-Sanders, Rachel Bauer. Writer Vicky Levack. Narrator Jim Van Horn. Director of Photography Scott Barrington. Additional footage What I Do, Not What I Have by Elsa Chang, Yvette Nanyuze, and Matthew Weber. Courtesy of the University of King's College. Instructor Sylvia D. Hamilton. Location audio Eric Southey. Editor Sarah Byrne. Sound mix Reese Waters. Online editor Brendan Wilson. Integrated Describe Video Specialist Simone Cupid. Special thanks Latte Da, Halifax Circus, Jem Powley, Tom Elliott, Vicky's Family. Graphics Andrew Antonello. Content Development Specialist Ryan Delahunty. Coordinating Producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Production Kara Nye. Director Programming Brian Perdue. VP Content Development and Programming John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2022 Accessible Media Inc.